Hey, what's good, y'all? We going live in 5. It's Thursday live. This is Be Real with D Real. I am in the building. I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes to get in the building, and then we gonna dive in. We gonna dive in hard, cause I got a few things that I want to discuss. Some of them are of a conversational bent. Some are of a controversial bent, and some are just plain old out there. Some of the things you've heard me saying, I'll be saying again. Some of the things you may not have heard me saying will be getting said today. If you was following, my little ads and pump ups and whatnot, I'm gonna be talking about. I know I may have said Mario Van Peebles, but I meant Melvin. Also, this this is my last ever time mentioning Sha'Carri Richardson. After this, y'all won't hear that name come out of my mouth ever again, long as I'm alive. Of course, recast T'Challa. I'm gonna be talking about Christy Martin. I don't know if a whole bunch of y'all remember Christy Martin from back in the day. She was a female boxer. Oh, D Steezel in the building as always. We live, yes sir, yes sir. And when we get in, when we get some folks in here, I want to talk on the Haitian migrant situation. I know that is a tender subject for a lot of people, but I want to come at it. I want to come at it from a factual standpoint. I don't want to put nothing in it that isn't supposed to be in it, and I don't want to take anything away from it that should be taken away from it. So, like they used to say back in the day, just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, or just the facts, sir. Facts, facts, facts. Okay. Let's Be Real with D Real Thursday live. Uh, I got to step to the little podcasters room, and I will be back in 60 seconds. Or I was going to do a Chuck Woolery. I'll be back in 2 and 2, but 2 minutes would be too late. So I'll be back in 1 and 1. All right, all right, all right. Get a little water. Let me clear my throat. Yeah, I said throat. I left the R out. That's how we do it sometimes in the hood. Let me clear my throat. And if I really want to get hood, I put a K in there. But let me clear my throat. Anywho, I got my little I'm a little tag along that I'm gonna be piecing up out of this what can I say phone? Phone. I'm gonna be piecing out of my phone. I'm gonna use that as my second screen today. All right. So, hello and welcome to Be Real with D Real Thursday Live. It's Thursday. It's live, and I'm that cat D Real. Real quick, I wanted to say shout out, happy birthday to Emmanuel Nassette, also known as E-Man of E-Man Reviews. Happy birthday, brother. Keep doing what you're doing out there. A lot of people love you. Real quick, you know what? I'm going to save that for when more people get in here because I know it's finna be controversy. Let me see now. Okay, jokey. Let me get this child out the way. Okay. September 20th, retired Olympic sprinter Usain Bolt responded to comments when he was asked about Sha'Carri Richardson. And all he said was that she needs to train harder and not talk so much. Does that sound like sound advice? It sounds like sound advice to me. If you getting beat and you talking smack after you get beat, yeah, that energy needs to go towards training. And that's all he said. He didn't say anything mean. He didn't detract anything. I mean, and if anybody on the face of the earth gonna give you some advice, some good advice about running, it's gotta be Usain Bolt. He's got what, 8 Olympic medals? Okay, if you can't take advice from Usain Bolt about running, if you can't take advice about your situation from somebody like Allison Felix, who are you gonna take the advice from? So, in her response, she said, everybody wants to give advice in the media, but none of them actually take the time to speak to me outside of media. Stop speaking on me when you don't even speak to me. Okay. I am of two minds of this. Okay. My first mind says if you weren't losing, nobody would be speaking on you at all. You'd be winning and you'd get a whole different kind of response. Okay. When people do speak about you, I have yet to hear a celebrity or athlete be like, "Oh, that funky heifer's trash. She's garbage. She needs to stop running." I haven't heard nobody say that. But at the same time, you could. I mean, how hard would it be to get her contact information? How hard would it be to reach out to her? How hard would it be? I get it. We got a pandemic going on and all of that. But it wouldn't be hard to call her. And I think it would mean a lot more to Sha'Carri if somebody actually reached out to her and spoke to her. Because she sounds like she's going through more than losing races. That's just me from an unofficial observer standpoint. She sounds like she's going through a lot more than getting torched on the track. She's dealing with a lot. So rather than, and even that probably goes for me. I probably shouldn't speak on her if I can't speak to her. I can speak to her. I ain't got access to her right now. I haven't tried to get it. But yeah. Yeah, you got a point there, Steezel. You know what I'm saying? It's fairly easy for them to get in touch with each other because their agents probably know each other. That is actual factual. But this is just me saying straight up, leave the child alone. Let her do what she gonna do. If she gonna lose races, let her lose races. If she gonna win races, let her win races. We don't need to keep it in the media. Malcolm X once said the media is one of the most dangerous things in the world because it can make an innocent man guilty and a guilty man innocent. You ain't never lied about that. Because I done seen people made guilty through social media and innocent through social media on a regular basis. And that is the world that we live in. And it's effed up that it's like that. And we've gotten used to folks just running each other down or making somebody sound like a criminal when they ain't, or making somebody sound like an angel when they're a demon. So yeah, don't get all of your information from social media. You know what I mean? Find some reputable sources. Google Scholar can put you on to some stuff that isn't the mainstream gossip and yada yada type stuff. So that's a good place to go if you're trying to find out what thinking people think about certain situations versus people that just want to vomit a narrative out there and create something to make a person sound like something. What'd you say, D? Only public beef I like is on wax. Well said. Very well said, sir. And from that, shoot, we gonna move on. And I just want to, real quick, I want to, there are constantly and continuously people moving on to the upper room, as my grandma used to say, to a higher plane, passing on, vibrating at a different wavelength. However you take it, we lost a great human being today. Yesterday, Mr. Melvin Van Peebles. We know Melvin, well, the layman knows Melvin Van Peebles because of his son, Mario Van Peebles, who was one of the main cops in New Jack City, Team Light Skin. You know what I mean? And he's been in quite a few movies, but Melvin Van Peebles is known for making a blaxploitation movie that wasn't blaxploitation. I guess that's the best way to put it. Sweetback, Sweet Badass song. I think it came out in like early 70s. Yeah. And it was pretty much Shaft on steroids. If you've never watched Sweetback's Badass song, please do. It is an amazing movie. And delving off into more things, he's also written and produced a lot of other movies also. Movie you may not have heard of because, and I may be dating myself here, movie called The Watermelon Man. Yes, sir, Mr. Steve. So Melvin Van Peebles, he passed yesterday. He died in his home. I'm sorry, on Tuesday. My bad. Died in his home with his family. So, and the cause of death has not been disclosed, but because he was 89 years old when he passed, I'm hoping it's something kind of natural because he seemed to kind of live a rather healthy life, and he looked pretty healthy to me. He's been on shows like Martin. Don't give me the lion. He has been on the show, but he wasn't a regular. He made an appearance on Martin, and he made an appearance on a couple other shows. He starred in the film Panther. Woohoo! And his son directed his father in a movie called Love Kills and Redemption Road. Redemption Road, I don't want to talk too much on that one, but check that movie out. Redemption Road's dope. He also made appearances on TV shows like Dream On, In the Heat of the Night, Living Single, Homicide on the Street. Man, I always say it, man. The party up in heaven is lit because it's so many greats, man, that have gone to the upper room, man, that we ain't gonna be able to talk to or speak to or get no advice from them or nothing like that, man. It's just it's a trip, man. Scary. Um, Rest in power, Melvin Van Peebles. You will be remembered for your work. Uh, they're going to show Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song at some film festivals so that my man is just not totally forgotten. Oh yeah, Posse was a good flick. Yeah. And he was him both him and his son were in that movie. Yeah. Jesse, Jesse, Jesse Lee. Yeah, I remember that movie. That movie was dope. Big Daddy Kane, Tiny Lister, Mario Van Peebles, and Sally Richardson. Okay. I'm not gonna speak on Sally Richardson because I get in trouble. Anyway. um Let's switch gears for a second, D. Um, Haitian migrants. Haitian migrants. Now, when I said that I was going to be talking about Haitian migrants when I was advertising, the live, some people said they were feeling some kind of way about what's going on with Haitian migrants. Yeah, yeah. See, I can't speak on that, D. I can't speak on that, man. My lady be tuned in. I can't I can't be speaking on Sally Richardson, bruh. Anyway, um, and even if I did, I would be respectful. She's a beautiful woman. She's a very beautiful woman. Still, that's a fact. I ain't slid off into her DMs or nothing like that. So I'm still being respectful. Here we go. Let me give y'all the straight tea on this Haitian migrant thing. Okay. Because I don't want to put like I was saying earlier, I don't want to put nothing in this situation that doesn't need to be in there. And I don't want to take anything out of that situation that should be in there. Okay. The Democrats are angry at Joe Biden's administration for their handling of the Haitian migrants at the southern border. And they want answers from officials after videos from other outlets, Al Jazeera is one of them, um, that appear to show Border Patrol using aggressive tactics when confronting them. I wish I had some video footage. I mean, I do got video footage, but I don't have it. I can't throw it up on live, or at least I ain't figured out how to throw it up. Forthcoming though. The Reuters also has video footage too. The Reuters video shows the officers at the water's edge twirling long reins as migrants crossed the border at the U.S. shoreline of the Rio Grande. At one point in the video, the officer's horse nearly charges into one of the migrants who falls back into the water. That's what y'all worried about. Y'all wasn't concerned about the migrants using their reins as whips. Um, and then on the flip side of that, they've been reporting that Haitian migrants are biting Border Patrol. So if you trying to whoop me like Toby and I ain't got no other way to defend myself, you making me go animal mode. Why is the Border Patrol doing this? The government doesn't have an answer. I watched Jen Psaki, whatever her name is, the speaker, say, okay, we do not approve of this, or this behavior is terrible, and blah blah blah, and we don't have any justifications or why or how or what's going on. And it's like, really, Jen? Okay, we really need to understand that we live in an age of social media. And what I mean by that is this: Anybody can get it on social media. Anybody can get it on social media. Back in the 90s, before the internet became popular, you could do stupid stuff out in the community and wouldn't nobody say nothing to you about it, at least those first couple of days. I think the worst thing I've ever done pre-social media era was I had too much to drink, roamed the streets, got picked up, and wound up in a homeless shelter. That would have made for an interesting video. Because even though I was very inebriated, I remember the situation vividly. I remember what I did, I remember what I said, I remember a lot of places where I were between blacking out. So, suffice to say, I don't move like that no more, especially in the era of I could get you on camera like that, like that, like that, and send it to 1,000 people in a minute flat. You're using your reins, Border Patrol, like a whip on people who just happen to be black. Okay, looking at that, I can only surmise two things. One, you know you was on camera, or two, you knew you was on camera and didn't care. Yes, D. Yes, we all did do dumb stuff back in the day. But how do you justify that? What, he was biting me. He bit my horse, so I hit him with my reins. I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to fly when these people have to answer some tough questions. Why'd you do what you did? Why'd you almost run that man over with the horse? Why was you beating him like he was Kunta Kinte? You know what I mean? It to me, it makes me feel like after all the talk and after all the this and all of that, as far as civil rights and human rights and all of that, we still got a long ass way to go before we are truly considered equal. You know what I mean? And then you have to think about it too. I find it hard to get behind the the maxim all men are created equal when at the time when that was written, all men weren't created equal, and men who look like me were considered three-fourths of a man. So that's hypocrisy at its finest, in my opinion. How you gonna be talking about all men are created equal? You like, tote that barge and lift that bell. I'm writing the Constitution. You know, eh, and it makes you question everything. At least it does me. Because I feel like you take something like that at face value. I got a bridge for sale. You know what I mean? It more on that as that story develops, because right now we got more questions than we got answers. And all I could say about the Haitian migrant situation is this: in the immortal words of Ricky Ricardo, you got some splaining to do. Period. Y'all got to explain that, break that down, and explain it to me like I am 4 years old. Explain to me like I'm 4 years old. Because I don't get that, man. How you going to be? I do get it, but I don't want to voice it right now because like I said, we just gonna keep it on the facts. What we know, Border Patrol is hitting people with their reins, using it in the same way as one would use a whip. We know they at least tried to run over one mug. So if I got to go with what I got right now, sounds a little racist. Just a little bit. But we can find out. We can find out if some Haitians was biting them, and that was their response to being bit. I don't know. It's a stretch. Is that all Border Patrol folks have? Or is their horse reins and a gun? Yeah. I tend to agree. Diesel video footage does not lie, but you can get video footage that can give you the wrong context. Does that make sense? Because somebody punching somebody on a video, okay, that guy is punching that other guy, but we don't know what that other guy did to this guy to make him punch him like that. That's what I'm saying. Is it justified? Beating a black man with a whip, quote unquote, they're reins, but beating a black man with a whip in 2021, I don't see how you could justify it unless you got bodily harm to you, and that was the only means of defense available to you. Why didn't you just climb off that horse and square up? That's what I would have did if you was biting me or biting my horse. I'd have got off my horse and you'd have got two piece with a biscuit. That's I don't get it, and you wasn't thinking, I bet not do that. Thoughts? Might want to rethink that one, Mr. Border Patrol man. Um, well, yeah, okay. D Diesel says whatever the so-called law enforcer does will look way worse because they're not in any real danger. Okay, but as we know, D, um, white people oftentimes take jobs because the job sounds cool initially, but then when you get in the job and you go, "Oh my, this is downright dangerous," and they don't understand the danger that can be entailed with being a state trooper, a police officer, hell, a security guard. Not to mention someone who works in a prison or somebody at border patrol. Okay, you got to understand when you got a job like that, danger is right around the freaking corner. And a lot of times these guys take these jobs because they want to feed their family or because they think, oh, this will be a cool job to have, or oh, I can be tough, or I can be strong, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But then you find out that it's real out here in these streets, that is real out here on these borders, that is real out here on the Rio Grande when folks are migrating, trying to get to where they need to get to because they just want to be safe, not to mention the situation going on or that went on in Haiti that precipitated all of this. And my question about Haiti, if Haiti's over here having problems, having troubles, the Dominican Republic is right next to it. How come the folks in the Dominican Republic don't ever do nothing for the folks in Haiti or reach out? I mean, ain't that the human thing to do? It's folks living in squalor right down the road from you, but you like, I ain't black. Y'all all came on the same boat. But I'm not gonna jump on Dominican Republic. I ain't gonna jump on y'all. I'm gonna let y'all be who y'all are. If that's where you at. Dealing with a family of illegal immigrants is different than dealing with a drug cartel, but my focus is on the individual dealing with it, not necessarily what they're dealing with. You've been trained on how to use a firearm. You've been trained at least on some kind of rudimentary self-defense techniques. And I know this for a fact because I once was married to a police officer. So I know they're trained on how to handle themselves at the very least. And then there's additional training that they can take if they choose to. So It's not like you just giving somebody a gun, a badge, and a taser, and they just out there left to their own devices. You got circumstances and situations. If this happens, your response should be this or something similar. If this happens, your response should be this or something similar. Because I'm going to tell you, even though you ain't in no physical danger, let somebody spit on you. Okay? While not harmful, in some circumstances, and according to some laws in some states, that is considered assault when you spit on somebody. I don't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Where we need more data, more information. I mean, if tomorrow this went to trial, then Border Patrol dude's in trouble. If there ain't no other context or no other way to explain it or break it down, dude is in trouble. Period. But that's what I'm saying. Because we live in an age now where we just get little bits and bites and video snippets and information like this. We don't know what the entire picture entails. We know what we see right here, but we don't know. We always worry about the what before we worry about the why. I see something crazy happening. That's the first thing comes out of my mouth. Why is she doing that? Why is he doing that? Why is that happening? Why? It's obvious what it is, but we don't have context. Why is that happening? Did that dude stab somebody or do something bad or we don't know. I don't know. It could be truth. It could be lies. I don't know. But you know what? I don't worry about it for right now until we get some more information. That's all we got to go on. D. Steezel, my man, do you remember a female boxer by the name of Christy Martin? I'll wait. Okay, I'm done waiting. Everybody, if you into boxing or you know anything about boxing, if you ever watched women's boxing, you should know something about Christy Martin. Christy Martin was a West Virginian lady who decided one day she was going to go to a tough man competition and she wanted to box a chick. Yeah, go ahead and look her up when you get back at me. And from one tough man competition, she laid a chick out and was like, I did that with no skills. I did that with no ability. And the reason I'm bringing Christy Martin up right now is because currently she has a biopic on Netflix right now. And she was known as the coal miner's daughter. Something else I didn't know. When she fought on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno. And many people felt like her fight was the fight of the night because her and I forget the chick's first name, but I know her last name was like Gogarty. Gogarty. Sound like Gogurt. But anyway, they slugged. I mean, they literally traded punches. If you got to watch this documentary, if you can't look up footage on Christy Martin and what's her name? I think it's Megan Gogarty. But they literally went punch for punch. Bam, 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 bam. Like that. I think it was like 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 2 minute, 2, 4, 5, 2 minute rounds. And they literally stood toe to toe, back, 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 back. Little short white gal. And at one point, she used to have a mullet. And she got the right hook from hell. I mean, she was hitting folks so hard. You know, you got to be hitting somebody hard as hell. If you hit them and bam, they dance, or you hit them, bam, and they freeze. Don't fall. They just freeze. She hit a chick and made her bam, just stop, like turn into a statue like Medusa. I'm like, boy, how hard You got to be hitting somebody to do stuff like that. I've seen people get hit and when they fall down, they straighten up, get stiff like a board, but I ain't never seen them like dance. Well, I take that back. I have. Back in the day, when George Foreman was coming up, him and Joe Frazier had a fight, and he hit Joe Frazier. It was for the belt too. He hit Joe Frazier, and Joe Frazier did a little soft shoe before he fell down. I was like, bruh, that got to be some strength in your muscles to make somebody tap dance when you hit them, because that's exactly what happened. But anyway, back to Christy Martin. I had no idea she had all of this crazy stuff going on in her life. She married her trainer, who was 25 years older than her. She's in her 20s at the time. And this guy, so that means he got to be at least 50 something. It is what it is. But when you marry somebody that young, whether it's a young man marrying an older woman or an older woman marrying a young man, the older person always gonna have mind control on you. I'm getting to that, D Diesel. I'm getting to that. And she was dealing with abuse. She was dealing with issues with her sexuality because growing up, she was a lesbian. And she grew up in a time when being a lesbian wasn't spoken out loud. It was just a thing that happened. And she was still dealing with her feelings of her sexuality, but yet and still went on ahead and married this man. But this man was abusive. How you gonna climb in the ring with your wife, spar with her, and knock her out? He knocked his wife out. Then on top of that, when she said she was going to see another woman, he punched her in the mouth and knocked her teeth up in her lip. Boy, that's abuse. Anyway, she did, in fact, because those were the two female boxers that were just the premier boxers, early 2000s. It was her and Layla Ali. Now, by the time Christy Martin got to a place where she could fight Layla Ali, she was really full of herself. She was feeling herself. She was like, yeah, I take her out. I dust her off, blah, 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 whoop, 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 this, that, and the other. Okay. Newsflash. I am not trying to get into a boxing match with anybody whose last name is Ali or Tyson. Period. I'm not, they hurt people. Bad. I'm not trying to get into no fight with them. But not only did she want to fight Layla Ali, she was talking trash. I get it. You talking trash. You're supposed to talk trash, I guess. But she took it to another level and put her hands on Layla Ali during the weigh-in. Now, here's the thing. What she said in the biopic, it's one thing to talk, but then she got to the weigh-in and seen how much taller and bigger Layla Ali was than her, because I think Christy Martin's only like 5 foot, 5'1", something like that. Layla Ali's like 5'11". And at the time weighed like 165, 168, something like that. Christy Martin like 130. You outweighed and outgunned, but you still want to do that fight? After she tried to like get her, trying to, the weigh in, and they talked the trash and get the scuffling. She tried to get Layla Ali to get into that and push Layla Ali. But Layla Ali grabbed her and like manhandled her. Like Hulk did Loki in the Avengers. I was like, yeah, I would call that boxing match off. I ain't trying to fight. If she manhandling you like that in the press conference, imagine what she gonna do to you when you get in the ring. Christy Martin said Layla Ali landed a high jab on the top of her head that made her think at that point forward she was fighting sideways, that she was fighting at an angle, that's how hard Layla Ali hit her. And she was she's tilted over. Says she went back to her corner and asked her husband, am I fighting sideways? Boy, again, how hard somebody got to hit you to make you think you fighting sideways. That's a hit, bruh. Anyway, long story short, the highlight of this biopic, the highlight, she tried to leave her husband, eventually left him, but he shot and stabbed her before she left him. But that's a testament to how strong the woman is. She gets shot and stabbed and still was able to get out of the house and get away. So Christy Martin, one of the better female boxers. Like I said, she had a monstrous right hook. And if you get a chance, please watch that documentary on Netflix about Christy Martin. Yeah, no doubt. Coming to the tail end, and in closing, I want to talk about the latest What If episode. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the title, just the title alone, what if Thor were an only child? I thought that was funny because Thor makes reference to that in Avengers when they're talking about Loki. Anywho, if Thor was an only child, basically what this what if says is he wouldn't have any humility. He would never have been humble because Loki's more clever and more smarter and is able to keep, a dullard like Thor on his toes. And since you ain't got no Loki doing that, Thor basically becomes a party animal. I like the fact that in that episode, him and Captain Marvel get a chance to square off. And Captain Marvel doesn't look so invincible up against Thor like she looked up against Thanos in Endgame. So again, that's another one of my arguments about inconsistency. Are the people who are doing What If watching the Marvel movies? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, if Thanos hits Captain Marvel and she don't move, but Thor hits Captain Marvel and knocks her from France to the United Kingdom or something like that. I know they did it to each other. They knocked each other into another country. So, because Thor was fat and dealing with depression, he was he wasn't able to muster up that kind of power to knock Thanos to South America or something like that. Inconsistencies. And I was having this discussion the other day with my man Big Nub. Shouts out to Big Nub. About power levels. Power levels should be same across the board if we're talking about the entire Marvel universe. Those power levels should be the same. Thor and Captain Marvel should be able to go at it. Yeah, I get that. She shouldn't have been OP from the jump. Okay, she got nerfed. But it's those kind of inconsistencies. It's those kind of inconsistencies that have me questioning a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I've been a dyed in the wool Marvel man since the age of 7. Love Marvel, but that was the thing about Marvel that made Marvel better because Marvel was consistent. Not that DC didn't have good characters and good books, but Thor was the same Thor in his own comic book as he was in the Avengers, as he was in The Silver Surfer's comic. That was that same Thor, same power, same ability, same scaling, same. We don't get overly nerfed or overpowered or under nerfed, that kind of thing. Oh my goodness, Diesel, you made that mistake. I'm waiting for Rouge to get at her. I am assuming you mean Rogue, Rogue. Rouge is red in French. But I grammar police. I'm messing with you. I know, but it's just that when I see people spell it like that, it's just like Rouge. Who the hell's Rouge? So, anyways, yeah, I am too, and they're talking about flipping her ethnicity too, and letting the black woman play Rogue. I don't know how I feel about that one. Some people are cool when they're made black, but other people, they just need to stay the ethnicity or nationality or race that they are. That's just it. 2 more episodes left in this season of What If, and as we saw, we getting ready to deal with some Vision, Ultron, Infinity stuff. And that sounds fun. But overall, that episode, yeah. Overall, that episode, it was silly. But the doom and gloom factor that often accompanies What If, it doesn't always have to be like that. Because there are What If comics, what if Aunt May became the Herald of Galactus? Ain't no way that could wind up doom and gloomy, because it's silly from the rip. Why would Galactus choose an old, decrepit white woman to be his herald? But, he can infuse her with the power cosmic, so it don't matter. Anyways, though, you typing fast? I got you. It's all love, D. We 47 past the hour, so that's about where I'm at with it. If y'all want to catch me, y'all know how to catch me during the week. Be Real with D Real is up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays with new material. And I might even throw some stuff up in between on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You just don't know. The only way you're going to know is if you tune in. Also, to my local folks, I am on KONR 106.1 FM. We're doing the business mixer from 10 a.m. Alaska time to 11 a.m. Alaska time, which is 11 a.m., 12 noon Pacific time. OutNorthRadio.com is streaming. Y'all go ahead and tune in. It's the Black Business Mixer. And bro, trust me, with me rocking with it, it's always going to be different. I'm not going to be there on the 29th because I got subpoenaed to appear in court. So I got to go to court. I got to be a witness. They actually trying to pay me to be a witness. I don't know how I feel about that. Are they expecting me to say some stuff because they accompanied a check accompanied the subpoena? Oof. All right. Anyways, that me on regular, and also to my local folks, I am hosting the football games on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays at Dave and Buster's. So if y'all want to come check out the football game with me, I'm giving away prizes. I'm doing trivia. We're playing games and whatnot. Come holler at your boy down here while we doing football on Sundays or whatever. That's just where I'm at. Well, as much as I wanted to get out of it, D, I tried, man. I tried. But they was like, okay, well, if we can't get you to come, if you want to come on your own, we'll subpoena you. And here we are. So I'm going to have to. I guess they felt bad. So they was like, give him some money. It is what it is, though, man. Long as they don't try to get me and be like, oh, you guilty too. Go to jail. Nah, it ain't nothing like that. It ain't nothing like that. I just, my testimony is integral, I guess, to what's going on, because somebody's suing somebody else and they want me to give some info, blah, 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 all that. Anywho, though, this has been Thursday Live. And I want to say thank you to my man D Diesel, who is always here with me. Bruh, I'm going to have to get at you, man, and give you some kind of prize, man, because you be in this piece always. I appreciate you, bruh. I'll be coming back at y'all with another one of them other ones, man. And until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other.